man. This is lifestyles of the poor and unfucking fortunate. But I tell you what, but bitch, we got views.
Are they both sisters? You mentioned one little sister at one time.
Yeah, I have two younger sisters. We're all 5 years apart. It's definitely affected our relationship. Like, we were super close when I lived with them, and then all of a sudden, you know, when my stepmom's like the main contact to reach them, you know,
there that goes.
It kind of went out the window. Now, when I went to visit them, I did have a conversation with the oldest.
Right.
And I think we kind of squashed anything, you know, because she remembers everything, which I didn't realize. Right. But I think we kind of settled, like, you know, she forgives me for leaving. I mean, I was young. Yeah. I was 13. I mean, I didn't know, like, it's not like I am who I am now. But unfortunately, like, we don't really talk at all.
And they didn't get treated that way, right? You said it was just you, right? It was that way.
Sorry, when I lived there, no, absolutely not.
It's just you.
I mean, kiss the ground they walk on. They don't have to do chores. They don't have to. Whereas for me, I'm literally sweeping the freaking bathroom floors with, like,
you're Cinderella.
Literally, like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I did everything around the house, but it wasn't even right. It's like she made me do it just so she could critique it and tell me that I was terrible at it. But they didn't have to do any of that. As far as now, I'm not sure. You know, my sister is older, so I'm not gonna put her business out there.
Right, of course.
But it was never like it was with me.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, you know, maybe one day I'll be able to kind of rekindle the relationship with them.
Hopefully so.
Yeah. I try to reach out to my older sister. My younger sister has autism, so it's kind of harder to connect with her over the phone. I mean, when I saw that, it was like she didn't want to leave my side.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of where that is.
Well, hopefully, you know, hopefully you can mend that. I don't say mend it, but you know what I mean? Like, get to where maybe
better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, for sure. So I guess now we'll talk about you finally deciding the music is what I want to do, even though I know you said you grew up loving it. When exactly, I know you did talent shows like you mentioned. When do you think, like, when did you start recording music, like in studio?
Get the booth and say, let's do something.
When I finally gained the confidence and I was like, okay, like, Tyler's behind the scenes, like, Savannah, what are you doing? Like, you have this talent, you know, you are beautiful, like, you have this personality, like, you need to believe in yourself, like, you need to be doing something. He's like, I'll help you with your Instagram, you know, he's really good with that stuff. So I was like, okay, let's do this. It was 2018. And this actually ties in directly to how I met Bobby, so it's really weird.
Okay.
2018, I found this studio and was like, okay, that's a nice studio. It's really local. I need to go there, right? So before I could even hit them up, they hit me up because Ty and I had been smashing it on social media. Like, we were taking pictures, getting a lot of content out there. I was doing little cover videos with my guitar, just all the ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
Just putting myself out there as a musician. And they hit me up. They were like, you should come through. Okay. So I went in. They were like, do a one take, which is pretty much where they record you and you literally just do a song. And I had always wanted my first song to be the song for my grandparents that I had wrote. So I went in there and I did that. We shot a little music video to it. Nothing really came of it. It wasn't something that I was like, oh, let me try and push this. It was just like I wanted to gift it to my grandparents, right? Yeah. They've done so much for me. Like, it's just what I wanted to do. So we did that. And then I kind of stopped music for a little bit. And, and then I moved and I had some falling outs and I was just still kind of dealing with certain things. And I was in Fort Myers. COVID had just hit. So this is years past, right? COVID had just hit. And I had been working at a doctor's office at that point. I was working from home. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to move home. Like, I'm going to move back up to where we are now, Central Florida. my best friend's there, my mom's there, the studio's there. Maybe I can really do this now. Like I had everything in me, the drive and everything. I was like, it's
and you
time.
You had stuff to write. You had stuff written.
Oh yeah, I was like, everything like in me is telling me that something's about to happen soon. And I vividly remember like saying this to people, and they thought I was crazy. Like for instance, the girls I worked with at the doctor's office, I was like, just wait, like one day, and they'd be like, haha, you know, when you tell someone your dreams and they're too big for them, they brush them off. But I was like, I know, like I just feel it, it's coming, right? So I hit the studio up and I was like, hey, if I come home, like, can we work together? Yeah, okay. A few weeks passed, didn't hear from him. All of a sudden I'm out with my friends, and you know, dude calls me. He's like, hey, I got this artist, his name's Brabo Gator. I had never heard of him. And I'm like, he's you know, a musician. He wants to do a music video. He needs a girl who can create like a TikTok-y dance that's like hip hop and country. You're the perfect fit. I said, oh. He's like, he might throw Nelly on the song. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So I look up, you know, his profile, and I'm like, okay. Like, I had no idea who he was and the connections he had and anything of the sort. Literally clueless. So he's like, I'll give him your number. Next day, Bobby calls me, Brabo Gator. He's like, hey, you know, what are you doing? I was like, oh, you know, I'm laying by the pool. He's like, okay, well, where are you located at? I said, Fort Myers. He's like, okay, I'm on my way there right now. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, my partner lives there. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. You know, talk about a sign, talk about like something so natural. He's like, okay, let's do dinner. You know, I'll send you the place. Place ended up being like 5 minutes from where I was at. Like, just super weird, right?
Universe, man.
So we meet for dinner. I don't think we talked but 5 minutes about his music video. It turned directly into, who are you? Like, why? What's your story? Why do you do music? Do you want to do music? How big? Like, what's your vision for this? And I just told him, like, I've wanted this since I was a little girl. There's always been something in me that's told me you're going to be in front of a lot of people. You know, you have a purpose, right? Like, this is it. People thought I was crazy. And I'm like telling him this, and he's like, if you trust me, in the next 30 days, I'll change your life. Now, you got to think, this is a stranger. Like, these are two strangers talking. And I don't know if it was the look in his eyes, or, you know, we were kind of talking about this the other day. Like, he wasn't pushy. You know, when someone just talks so much to fill the air up? Oh, yeah, for sure. He wasn't bullshitting me. Like, you could just tell. And, you know, Marshall was super cool. Like, they weren't weirdos or anything. So I'm like, okay. Like, okay. And they're like, all right. Well, he's like, I got a studio back home. Like, you come up there. He's like, we'll start working. I was like, okay. Marshall's like, oh, okay. Like, everybody says okay, but they don't do it. In my mind, I'm like, they have no idea who they're talking about. I already texted my best friend 10 times. Like, they have no idea that I'm being serious about this just as much as they are.
You just need a break.
Absolutely. I'm like, I'm ready for this. Like, let's do this, right? So, you know, we finished dinner, and they keep saying Tuesday, right? I think this was literally, it was a Saturday. So like Tuesday. So we go out to the truck with we're talking, naturally talking. Marshall's like, let's just sit in my truck, you know, because it's hot outside. Again, like, this would sound crazy to anybody else, right? Yeah. So I'm like sitting in the truck, and Bobby's like, okay, if I play this song, like, I know, and it's Cop Car by Keith Urban. I'm like, boy, like, you got the wrong one. Like, I know all about this stuff. And then he played like Girl Crush, and he's playing all these songs, and I'm like, literally know every single word. He's like, okay, all right. And then he's like, so let me see your Instagram. He's like scrolling. He's like, I'm like, like, what do you mean? Like, I worked hard for this. What are you talking about? He's like, okay, listen, can I delete everything? And I'm like, what? What do you mean delete? He's like, just please trust me. Like, we will rebrand you. We'll rebuild your Instagram. Just let me. He literally deleted all but like 4 pictures.
How much did that make you die inside?
I have a video on it.
How long did you have to negotiate before?
I was on the. I literally did. I was like, please, let me keep this one. No, it was hard for me because I'm not kidding. Like, I still have screenshots in my phone. I remember the day when I was like, Tyler, I just hit 100 likes. Oh my gosh. Like, it was like
Yeah, for sure.
Tyler, I just hit 1,000. Oh my gosh, I just hit 2,000. Okay, I hit 3,000. I hit 4. That's what I was at. 4,000 on Instagram whenever I started with Bobby. And I just thought, like, I had worked hard for those followers.
Yeah.
So it was hard for me. But I just was like, you know what? Things like this don't happen every day. This is different. Like, something about this is different. Yeah. And they're like, okay, well, we just want to keep talking. Let's go back to Marshall's house. And I'm like, oh, dee. Like, my roommate at the time, I was like, listen, this is going to sound crazy. Like, I know I'm just meeting, like, music people, and you probably think, like, I'm already crazy for that. I'm going back to their house, like, nothing weird, right? You have my location. Just make sure, like, I'm not gone too long.
Right.
Went over there. We talked all about all kinds of things. I started giving them a little bit of a background on me, just kind of trying to let them know the type of person I was, the type of woman I was. And, you know, then we actually started trying to practice the dance for the music video that we were supposed to. That's funny. I was so cringy looking back at those videos. I can't. And then we came up with my logo that night. So the Savannah Dexter logo. And then I was like, okay, my phone's dying. Like, it's time for me to leave. I left. He called me. Bobby called me the next day. He's like, hey, I'm about to leave. Like, do you want to meet for lunch? So we met for lunch. Talked some more business, you know, about what we could do. He played his album for me, the one, the Don't Speak, the song I featured on.
Yep.
He played that whole album for me. I was like, oh, I want to be on this song. Like, I like this song. He's like, all right, Tuesday. I'm like, okay. I went home. I packed my bag. Like, I literally just took a duffel bag because I did not think that when I came here I wasn't going back. Left my dog and everything to be babysat. And all of a sudden, I'm in the studio for 15 hours every day, and we're just writing these massive records.
Yep.
You know, we wrote, what's the one? Just Another Story. We did The Can't Never Could.
Yep.
We did Cinderella. The whole Raise Hell thing came about. I'm like, okay, I can stand behind this. Like, I was a victim of sexual abuse numerous times. I talk about it and Remember Everything.
Yep.
And I'm like, this, like, I don't agree with this. Nobody's put her in her place. I'll be the fucking bitch to do it. You know, like, I don't care. Like, what do I have to lose? You know, he's like, okay, this could really work or it could really not work. And I'm like, whatever. Like, at least I'm standing up for something that I believe in. I didn't know that there was this whole diss world in country rap.
Right,
like, I didn't know.
That wasn't the world you were in.
No, I had no idea that it was even a thing. And then all of a sudden, I start learning, like, okay, so my family listens to Jelly Roll and Adam Calhoun in church and all of them.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was oblivious to them or these people. I just didn't know that this was a massive world that existed. I really didn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then it's almost a year. In like 15 days, it'll be a year since Raise Hell came out.